So what were you talking about?
Weird demonic shit that could happen to his sister.
Okay. Would any of that involve insects and Laura Croft?
Might. I was sending you that because you were talking about it.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, the Internet Explorer and the porn was.
It just had to be Laura Croft.
I mean, it wasn't what I was looking for when I started looking for porn, but you know, it's like a porn spiral. It's like, ooh, that looks nice. Ooh, that looks nice. Ooh.
Oh, this was just scary.
And then you have to paint your ceiling. So I mean, it's like. So anyway, but like, what you wanted to like ask us where we feel we're at. Like, why is Davis muted?
I didn't mute him. Did he mute himself?
I think he might have muted himself. Why is he muted himself?
He doesn't want to hear me talk about the horrifying things.
Okay.
I gotta post this picture to something. Guess I.
Right.
Oh wait, did it get posted in the? Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, what were you guys talking about though?
Talking about what happens to Gertrude. I think this one with grasshoppers is extreme enough.
Okay. Specifically, you're in his. Okay. So in his case, you're basically concerned about exploring what's happening to his sister.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think you were talking to him earlier about like stuff to do with his character and whatnot.
Man, I forgot all about this damn fucking sub. Oh, there's some weird shit.
All right. Well, what do you guys talk about?
Well, we're trying to figure out how to keep his character deeply involved in the game.
Okay.
There's also horrifying weirdness to some people.
Specifically with him or with me?
For his characters, just cause.
Okay. What does he think of your ideas? Or what ideas does he have?
I don't know, he hasn't responded. I keep sending him nightmare imagery with bugs.
Well, you know he doesn't like bugs, right? Yeah, so you're probably
I'm
freaking
trying
him
to get
out.
a
Now he's not
response out of
talking
him.
at all, and that's annoying, because now we can't actually communicate with him.
Send him stuff that's too hot.
You are. You should send him furry porn like I do.
I haven't sent him any.
Wait, hang on. Sorry, Meeting Room 2 was highlighted for some reason. Can you hear me?
Oh, this one has tears in the eyes.
Okay, well, what did he say, like, while I was farting around?
I don't know.
Alright.
Just sending him weird shit while I wait for him to respond.
Alright, he's back.
This is why I muted myself.
Well, now you're unmuted, so I mean, but yeah, like I wanted to hear what you guys were talking about. It was just like I couldn't hear you because I was farting around fixing my computer. So it sounds like you like stuff. Like we need to save your sister, and like bad stuff could happen to your sister, and there's some other things, and bugs are scary.
Yeah. But I think I'm going to use that because I was thinking about one of my great horror story ideas. So let's tone it back a bit. I still want to have scary bugs, but not the fucking freakish Lovecraftian levels I know I can go to.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, like, you know, let's work our way to the fungi of Yugoth. You know, I mean.
No, man. I just gotta not get myself a boner.
Yeah, don't give yourself no insects of Shagai for the time being.
What? But
I'm
sexy,
referencing
sexy
Lovecraft,
bugs.
you dick. I'm referencing the fungi of Yugoth are big giant lobster monsters, and the Shagai, the insects of Shagai are bugs that crawl inside your brain and take you over.
Yeah, that's some funky shit. Nobody talks about that stuff.
Yeah. Well, you should talk to me more about Lovecraft. No, you just
no.
Like, why do you like Lovecraft, Eddie? Why do you like Lovecraft so much?
Hey.
Always naysaying.
Do you want your character to have
sit in your.
Do you want to have more Lovecraftian elements to your character?
Well, I figured you were going to do that anyway. I mean, because like you had kind of Lovecraftian intentions for it, but it's like,
all right.
Shelley herself doesn't necessarily know much about Lovecraft, but it's like I just.
How much do you want to know about Psy?
What do you mean?
We're going to come to a conclusion about what Psy and Shelley would talk about.
Oh, Psy. I thought you were talking about like psychic powers.
No. That's part of something else. Your character isn't fragmenting as much as Eddie's character is. Your character is fragmenting in strange ways.
Well, I mean, he is made of stone.
Like
out of the two of us, he's the only one.
No, you show restraint. His character hasn't. Like, we were like, you know what? I'm not going to waste all my willpower trying to swim out into the ocean, connect with the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And so you've shown more restraint than his character. What is your heavenly virtue, by the way, for your virtue and vice? What?
My virtue is faith.
Would you call that faith? Like, you know, being prudent like that? No, because prudence is the actual term, or temperance. But faith is believing things will go right no matter what. It's essentially being justified just by thinking it'll happen. And I don't think you've had much of that.
No, I mean, I was kind of playing with the idea of her like getting more religious when she wanted to get purified, but it was like,
oh gosh! Don't tell me there's going to be another would-be Christian character.
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking of initially. It was like, but or like, yeah, she has like my idea for her was like, yeah, she does have
Eddie,
feeling.
Eddie,
what?
Eddie, I didn't say your character was a girl in a past life.
Okay, so I had a penis.
Maybe. I'm just deciding what I'm going to do to your character.
You made me the Kuei Jin character from the modded version of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines.
What?
Yeah. I'm Kalien. You turned me into Kalien from Bloodlines, the Bloodlines mod.
I don't know what that is.
She's a Kuei Jin, which are the Asian vampires that have nothing to do with Cain. And they're like the way Kuei Jin work is they rise from the dead for a variety of weird reasons, but a lot of times it's because they have something unfinished in life they have to do. And like originally,
how are they vampires?
Well, they have fangs, they're undead, and they need to feed on blood or life essence in order to survive. But it's like they're different. They're not of Cain. They're very much Eastern vampires. They're kind of like hopping vampires, or like Yurei or Penagolons to some degree. And
all right,
and they
I think I'm going to go to Greek. I'm going to try to make Greek vampires here.
Greek vampires.
Like, if you want to do vampires. Like, I'm thinking of all sorts of weird shit. But see, I'm thinking about what I'm going to do with Psy Vasilios.
Well, you made me think of Kalien, because Kalien's story is she was actually a dude. She was kind of, she was hanging out with this, he was dating this girl, and they were both kind of crazy party animals, and they were running around having sex and doing drugs all the time. And they had a heroin overdose. And they both died. But the thing is, like, the thing about the Kuei Jin is they rise in weird, mysterious ways. So what happened is he wound up rising again, but not in his own body. He rose again inside of her body. So now he's a chick. And also, when he rose initially, he was Chi-Mei. Chi-Mei Kuei Jin a lot of times are ravenous and feral, and they desperately need to consume chi any way they can. So he actually wound up eating his old body. And while he was in this lady's form. And he's been a Kuei Jin, a female Kuei Jin for a long time now, and he's come to terms with it. He's moved past a lot of... He's no longer a Chi-Mei. He no longer needs to eat flesh or anything like that. But he's kind of still like he was in his original life and in her original life, where it's like they were just kind of party animals and living for the moment without any apology, because it's like that you may not have enough time. So it's like... So basically, like, in the modded version of Vampire the Masquerade, you have the option of kind of going on a really big, crazy date with her, where you go all over Los Angeles. It's kind of a little fun side mission. And she is technically one of the characters you can lay. But you can also fuck up the date if you don't go along with some of her stuff. So, if you're... For example, she doesn't really care about humanity. So, like, one of the first things you do is you go to Vesuvius. And you start, like, hooking up with a couple of the strippers there. And so you're starting to, things are getting hot and heavy, and like you're gonna feed on them. So you don't know what happens while she feeds, but while you're feeding on her, you can't stop. You fail to actually stop yourself from killing her, and and the girl dies. And so you have the option of like, I think it might be implied that she might have had something to do with it, but it's like the game just literally won't let you like push F to stop. So, so it kind of forces you to kill a stripper. So either you can go along with it and accept the fact that you're a monster and still have a good time with the girl and date the girl, or you can be like, no, this isn't cool. I didn't want to kill a stripper, and then she dips on you and you don't get the rest of the quest. And there's like no way to find her again. So I mean, it's a cool little mod, but it's like it could have been better constructed. I think it could have been better. Like, I mean, again, this is like a total fan community that came in and added this stuff.
Hold on, if you're a vampire, would it matter that you kill a stripper? Like that's what Lestat did.
Yeah, it does.
You're essentially going after girl Lestat, I assume.
To quote Smiling Jack, an innocent still an innocent. So I mean, yeah. So I mean, it does matter. It's like, yeah, you lose humanity for that. It's like you're as a rule.
But I'm saying this character, it sounds like Lestat.
I mean, it could be, but the thing about you mean Calienne?
Yeah.
Yeah, Calienne.
Lestat as a character is weird.
Yeah, Calienne might be like a transsexual Lestat, essentially.
Yeah, forced transsexualism. Ate his own body.
Had no say in it. Had no say in the matter whatsoever.
How do you get that to have sex with you? Like, how bad is that thing's sex drive?
Calienne's kind of a freak, and and it's like he was into chicks, and that's like Calienne, whatever the final product is, will do anything. And like one of the things you can do is you go to you pick up people at the asylum, which is Jeanette's club, and then you go up and you have a massive orgy with Jeanette. So that's one of the things you can do. So that's kind of cool. So it's like more sex with Jeanette, I think, is a good thing. So yeah.
Eddie, have I ever told you about like the great big concerns philosophically?
Yes, all the time.
All right. So you know how I talk about like, how do you know that you're in love? Like, or like, all right, why is having a robot being programmed to love you bad?
Because it has no.
So if you have a sex bot that has no say in it, so for love to be validating, you have to be chosen.
Yeah. Okay.
So what if you had a limited intelligence AI?
Okay.
And you could make it just, learn. You could just have it do essentially things to figure out who you are. And then it just poof makes a person that gets along with you. Like they would choose you.
Yeah.
Would that still be fake love? The thing was synthesized to put up with you most of the time.
It's a catch-22 because it's like it's actually it raises it's one of those big philosophical questions because it's like it would love you because it was built that way. It was programmed to. So it does. But at the same time, you made it that way.
Well, you know what love is, right? It's just a release of oxytocin, increasing like certain positive effects inside of the mind.
It is.
So you're actually addicted to them like a low form of cocaine?
Love is biologically equivalent to large quantities of chocolate, if I believe Al Pacino's character in...
yeah, it is like chocolate, correct. But it's also like blow. Like a quarter the strength of blow or half the strength of blow. It's sad. That's why people get in love with blow, because blow is love.
Well, but we are chemical-based beings at the end of the day.
So, what are we doing with Shelley and Vasilios? Is this going to be like a Snape thing? Is this going to be like,
I'm leaving.
Oh, wait, I did tell you. I told you I wanted to do the fucking Miss Marvel thing.
Yes, I know.
Where you're somehow a product of psychic sexy sex.
Yes, you're obsessed with this really bad issue of the Avengers back in the day. And again, you get no points from me because if you had referenced Next Generation, I would have been more impressed.
I don't care.
Why won't you rape Troy? Why won't you do it? Why won't you rape Deanna Troy psychically? It's the right thing to do, Josh.
See her as attractive.
But it's a great Star Trek stereotype.
Is that the counter to the rape? It's like he didn't see her as attractive until he bonded with her. And it's like, no. That thing had design. It had aims. Tiny little glowing.
I'm not quite sure what we're talking about at this point. Look, when
The
it comes to
beam of light goes-
I can tell you what my plan is, and maybe we should just start role playing now, and just like go to it. If Davis is ready.
Well, I'm seeing what I'm going to be doing to hook you with this character.
Okay. Well, I mean, it all depends on what you want to do, sir. But what I was
No. What are you missing inside the gameplay?
I'm not missing inside the gameplay. I enjoy the gameplay. I am satisfied, and I'm looking forward to whatever you're going to come up with. As long as you don't make Luke Skywalker drink like space walrus milk, I'll be happy.
What if Doug drinks space walrus milk?
I will laugh, and that'll be hilarious. But that's perfectly in character for him to do that, so I'm fine with that. Luke Skywalker,
I think we got to make a big effort. Hold on, we have to make a huge effort not to laugh at Doug's awkwardness or puns.
Oh no! Well,
we have to make Doug unfunny. He works.
It all depends on what Davis chooses to do in character. I mean, if it's genuinely funny, I'm gonna laugh. If it's genuinely not funny, I'm probably just gonna laugh in real life because it's like, why, Davis? Why do you do this to me?
Well, he wasn't wisecracking when I had all those spiders and awful things coming for y'all inside of the hole.
Spiders? When do spiders come in the hole?
Oh, the parasites and stuff.
Okay. But it's like, I mean, I can tell you what my plan is for, like, Psy. It was like, specifically what I was going to do was especially with him reacting like, oh, well, like, I knew you'd come crawling to me anyway. She was basically going to say something effective. I was like, okay, I didn't expect that. Hey, haven't talked to you in, like, 18 years. And, like...
I don't think you've ever spoken to him.
The family's known about him. They've seen him. It's like...
No. We never really settled how that guy came and left out of your mom's life or is her benefactor.
Yeah,
like,
what if...
What
the
if
family knows about him? And, like, my older sister...
What if you're the child support that your whole family survives off of?
It could be that.
Yeah. Like, your dad has been paying child support and alimony to you, and, like, Bob and your mom haven't been doing so well since you turned 18, and this guy just thinks you're calling.
If that's what your plan is, what she was going to do is, like, since it was a really weird way to respond, she was basically going to say, she was going to ask you, okay, so how much do you know about why I'm calling you? And then I was going to see what you were going to do. And then she was going to start asking, she was basically going to, like...
All right. Would you like this connection? Like, so far I've written up some stuff with some Middle Eastern elementals and other spirits and naiads.
Okay.
But, it's not.
Repeat that again?
There's the levels. There's mountains, there's the water, fire.
You're looking for the elements?
Well, this one's in water.
Okay.
But then there's the naiads, daughters of Poseidon.
Yes.
So, how does Poseidon have so many daughters? Because he probably rapes every woman that drowns in the sea because she's just as bad as Zeus, but it's anything that falls in the water is his.
Well, and
that's why men didn't want women at sea. It made Neptune want to drown them more so he could get to the women.
Well, and again, it's Greek mythology, so it's like rape, have sex with, same thing. So,
and like,
it's like, it doesn't matter
Poseidon tried to rape a bunch of people. Poseidon is why there's a Medusa.
No, Medusa is a woman who was cursed by Athena.
because Poseidon raped her in her temple.
No. She was having sex inside of one of Athena's temples, and so Athena cursed her.
With Poseidon.
It wasn't.
Oh my
Poseidon.
gosh. You've got the negative version of Medusa. Medusa is a sign of protection to women because she was done wrong by the gods. So Poseidon rapes her in her temple, in Athena's temple.
I'm pretty sure Medusa was not raped inside the temple
by Poseidon.
I know she had sex in the temple. I don't think she was actually raped by Poseidon.
She was supposedly raped by Poseidon in the temple, and Medusa turned.
Oh my god! I don't have
Athena
my copy.
Turned her back on.
I don't have my copy of like Laura Hamilton's great myths. Hold on. We will consult Wikipedia, source of all knowledge.
Wikipedia makes everything
never
about
wrong, even though it can be edited by anybody.
It's all.
Conspiracy theories. That's the thing I looked up recently.
Medusa.
Oh, now we're racing each other.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay. Davis.
Describe.
Was Medusa raped by Poseidon in the Greek temple, or was she just doing it with somebody in Athena's temple?
Was two? What?
Medusa from Greek mythology. How much do you know about Greek mythology?
Are we talking?
Oh, yeah. There's Phorcys.
Okay.
And Seto.
All right.
Are we? Wait. Are we talking like?
The author. I don't know why we're talking about Medusa, but it came up somehow. The author of Hyginus makes her caught by the Gorgon Seto. According to Hesiod Aeschylus, she lived and died on an island named Serpeion, somewhere near Sicily, second BC, somewhere with Herodontus. Beheaded by the hero Perseus, who thereafter used her head in retaining the built onlookers term as weapon until he gave it to goddess Athena. Image of the head. Let's see. Three Gorgon sisters, Methus, Sithis, and Uranel, were all children of the ancient marine deity Phorcys, and his sister Seto, or Keto, chronic monsters from archaic world of genealogy. Ancient Greece face. Okay, in the late version of the Medusa myth related by the Roman poet Ovid, Medusa was originally a ravishing, beautiful maiden, the jealous aspiration of many suitors, but because Poseidon had raped her in Athena's temple, okay, you win. Enraged, Athena changed Medusa's beautiful hair to serpents and made her face so terrible, and behold, that there were sight of it would turn onlookers to stone. In Ovid's telling, Perseus described Medusa's punishment by Minerva, Athena, as just and well earned. Okay, see, but it's in the late versions of the myth. The late version, so I might be right. Probably not.
Late versions.
That's the first thing that comes up.
The final interpretations of the.
No, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Because if we're saying the final interpretation of the myth, that means the most recent and correct version of Superman is Batman v Superman, and I refuse to live in a world like that.
That's life.
No, that means that the Black Buffy is canon, and that means all my DVDs are blank, and White Buffy doesn't exist, and white power! Racist Buffy. Sorry. Look what you did. Look what you did to me. Look what you did to me. You turned me into a racist Buffy fan and Star Wars fan. It's all your fault. It's all your fault.
So I'm gonna have.
Okay, so all right. I'd never heard about the Poseidon
because
thing
we can't decide what's happening with Sai.
I'd never heard about the Poseidon thing before. I knew she was having sex in the temple of Athena, and Athena got pissed about that. I didn't know it was Poseidon. And again, the problem with
the gods are cruel. If she just killed herself instead of risking.
Well, no, Athena could be a bitch too. You remember what happened to Arachne? Arachne got Arachne just beat her in a fucking knitting contest, and so she beat the shit out of her until she committed suicide, and then brought her back to life as a spider.
Damn.
Yeah, Athena's Athena's portrayed as a heroic god, but she can be a bitch. She can be a serious bitch. But okay. Well, again, here's the thing with Greek mythology, though. They always say raped or they grabbed them and laid down with them. I mean, it's implied that it's kind of like shrug. It's like it depends. I feel like when it comes to Greek myths, it's probably rape, but it could have been just rough sex. It's I have a feeling, like, in terms of the actual myth, the people that were enjoying this, it was basically rough sex. Like, the god just grabs you and just starts fucking you. And it's just like, it's really just like, and it just, like, just bangs the fuck out of you. But, I mean, I think it's open to interpretation. It's like, yeah, the god's like, I'm gonna fuck you. And you don't have a say in this. It's like hentai. It's like ancient hentai. Take god dick in the temple, and you're gonna turn into a monster for it, even though it's not your fault. Like, Zeus decides to fucking cheat on his wife again. And bang some chicks. So, like, Hera's gonna curse them, even though it's not their fault. You know, I'm gonna go bang Hercules' mom. And then, like, so just because she got taken advantage of by a god, I'm gonna throw snakes in your baby's bed to kill him. Fortunately, like, the demigod gene clicked at just the right time, so it's like, no, fuck you. I've got super strength. 1,000 years from now, me and Thor are gonna hang out with a vampire, and we're gonna, like...
Hold on, edit.
A great old one to be awesome.
I was just letting you drone on until you said somewhere out of nowhere you got super strength. So how'd you become a superhero again?
Who?
Your character, how'd you become a superhero?
What character, Shelly?
Shelly, yeah.
He was talking about Hercules and Thor.
Yeah, who appeared in my game.
Well, I'm talking about how... Alright, so I'm having weird Greek stuff with your character. It's not going to be East Indian or anything like that, or East Asian. Like, you're going to be Mediterranean. If I can do Congo, all the better.
Okay.
But there's also some Aztec and other things influencing you.
Okay.
Like, your character has just, like, ancient symbol.
Alright, do you want to discuss this further, or do you want to just, like, what do you say we just see what happens?
No, because I lose concentration. And I've had a hard time coming up with... Like, I don't want to just give you power. You know?
You don't want to give me a what?
I don't want to just give people powers. You know that is, right? Where they're just like, okay, I find out I'm a demi-human. Okay. I get extra this and that.
Okay, or well, I don't care about that. I just care about progressing the story.
Possessed by an elemental. I get this, this, and this. Like, it's not just about understand. I want to create, like, story about the understanding, not just like, and now you can punch and turn your hand into a rock spire at the same time. You know?
Well, I mean, I don't really care about that too much. I just kind of want to progress the story. It's like, this is just the kind of thing we're doing right now. It's like, I think actually, yeah, I actually only really called him due to Doug's prompting. Doug was all like, no, call, like, because that was the initial plan, was I was going to follow Demps's advice and go talk to my father. And then I think I was making fun of him, and then Doug got sick of my shit. And so, like...
So, what's going to be useful here? Like, what could we discover through this father that could help your character, so we can decide on at least, you know, where we're going to take this? Like, I got an idea of how shitty he's going to be automatically, but I mean, like, do we want more supernatural power? Do we want more money? Like, you know, shit like this. Like, what if your dad is, like, you know, this multi-billionaire yacht owner?
I'm not quite sure I understand what you're asking me here. I'm wondering if you're asking me, like, what kind of powers I want from you? Is that what you're asking me?
Well, I'm talking about the development with Sai. The powers you're getting for being, you know, a Atlantean descendant are going to be on their own thing. Because lots of people, when I feel they miss out with Atlantis, they're just like, oh, it's all this water. And I'm like, no, there's ley line energy, you motherfuckers. It's all about the earth and, like, all the energy moving throughout the world and, like, this philosophical craziness.
Well, I mean,
it's also about the ocean, yes.
I mean, if you're asking me what I want to get out of this whole thing with Sai, is, like, I mean, really, my whole plan was just to see whatever you came up with. I mean, I was just going to kind of roll with it. I mean, I was like, I'm just kind of...
I know you're willing to... I know you're willing to roll with it, but I want to know what you're willing to give me bumps with. Like, where do you want the bumps?
I don't understand what you mean by where do I want the bumps. What does that mean?
All right. So we were talking the other day about how plots work. You know, how they have to have, like, you know, what's the simplest way to describe the story? Like, I'm thinking about how I'm supposed to use the Sai character, and I've just been overthinking it. I just have, like, no weird way to throw him in.
It's not necessarily bad. I mean, it's like you're definitely... I mean, you when you called me up the other day, you were very, like... You felt like you were in writer mode. You kind of felt like you were like Sherlock Holmes at a moment of brilliance and possible opium overdose. That's kind of how you came across on the phone, and I was just Watson having to deal with your shit. But I mean,
well, no, unfortunately, that's just my ADD. But
yeah, you felt all inspired and stuff, and it was like I was wondering what the Buffy stuff was about.
Well, I was writing down some interesting. The thing with Buffy that I was talking about
I'm feeling
was
better about that too, though, because since Whedon's on board and also Anita Sarkeesian doesn't like it, so it's like, oh, I'm in. But go ahead.
I guess you have to wait for someone to hate it as a sign of how good it is.
That's because that's how good of a person I am.
Yes.
All right.
Anyhow, no, what we're trying to discover is what made you excited for Buffy? What made you enjoy Buffy as a character? If we're gonna make your character kind of like Buffy, and then there's other ways we could play it out.
Well, I can answer the question about what made me excited for Buffy. The season 4 finale, the second to last episode of season 4.
What?
My initial impression of Buffy the Vampire Slayer is it sounded like a really stupid premise, and I had no interest in watching it. And I remember the movie when I was a kid, and the movie looked dumb, and I couldn't believe for 4 seasons people were talking about this Buffy show, oh, it's the greatest thing ever. What are you people talking about? And then I stumbled upon it one night. I think I was talking to other Josh, and he was like, dude, it's on right now, go check it out. And I saw this little woman running around a military facility punching monsters in the face, and she was fighting a demonic cyborg half-human Frankenstein monster with a machine gun arm, and then she had to send a godhood in order to kill it. And I was like, oh my god, this show is awesome. And it's like, yeah, we've been telling you this show is awesome. And it's like, holy shit. So it's like, then I had to know everything about the show. And so I started watching it, and I went back and watched the older seasons.
Yesterday, if you see this as an action movie, which that sounds very action-y.
Action, sci-fi, fantasy. I mean, it was.
No, man. You gotta give me, action emphasis. See, I'm sitting here having story and plot. We should just have action.
I feel like you're turning into David Lynch right now. I feel like you're having this metamorphosis. We're gonna do a game which is just us hanging out at the Empire State Building for 10 hours. That's gonna be the game. And then
I'm not gonna Ryan Johnson. It's like you all.
That's not Ryan Johnson. How dare you? That's David Lynch. It's David Lynch's film Empire.
I'm gonna Ryan Johnson.
A 10-hour black and white movie of nothing but the Empire State Building is a million times better than The Last Jedi. I will sit through the whole 10 hours. I will do it.
Sounds like those experimental.
Experiment what?
So film artist.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. David Lynch is a kind of a weird, eccentric artist guy type. So, I mean, But, yeah.
Well, what I'm trying to
you're having an artistic blossoming is what I'm trying to say.
I'm not artistic blossoming. I'm trying to cater to the story. So, in case I ever start drifting off and you're, losing interest in the game, you also have to be aware that I will lose interest in it. So you have to do things to appease. That's essentially what every DM has to do. It's like, I don't get joy out of just giving people the same stupid fucking... You enter the dungeon, there's 5 goblins. You enter the dungeon, there's 6 goblins. You enter the dungeon, there's 7 goblins. Increment of stuff. I like to move the numbers around, come in, you get hit hard, you get a few turns to roll it around, you come back stronger, you overcome adversity, down the initial bad that you fought to find out there's stuff like that. So the first few stories leading up to the Wendigo.
Yeah.
By the way, that Wendigo is really important. The fact that you ran around while cursed caused a lot of bad shit.
I know.
You leaked chaos all over the place.
Yep. I know Shelley doesn't.
Yeah. So there's going to be bad things that happen with Danny. There's going to be horrifying stuff that I've seen in horrible fucking Doshin's bad level.
Wait, who's Danny?
Daniel.
Who's Daniel?
His name is Daniel. See, this is the problem. He's so forgettable because he's just so pathetic.
Oh, the fat
you don't want to even...
The fat nerd kid?
Yeah.
Good thing I chose a neutral alignment. Sucks to be him. Anyway. All right, we'll definitely.
No, it's gonna come back to get you. Fast.
Karma always does. We'll deal with.
I
that
also got to figure out what to do with Sis.
I was kind of wondering when she was going to show up, or we were going to deal with that. Apparently, I mean, I still made like plans with the sugar daddy to go see her at some point. Just Shelly hasn't cared about getting back to it because it was all just to get herself cured of the bugs. So. But yeah. I don't. Have we covered everything?
What would a lot? Hold on, Eddie. What would a lot of money give you?
A lot of money, like Shelly would be able to pay off some of her debts for that. I mean, she'd have.
No, Eddie. A shit ton stupid. A lot of money. Like if someone was like, "Here's $1 billion."
Well, yeah, financially she wouldn't have any problems anymore. That'd be really great. And she probably would never have to work again, which is a good thing because her freaking like tattoo parlor's probably been burned to the ground at this point. And it's probably better if she disappears for a while. And she could probably just pursue more of whatever her kind of heritage is with Atlantis and figure out more about what's going on because it doesn't.
All right, hold on. Let's see if there's weirder shit going. What if you were like suddenly linked deeply in the mafia? What if you had power? Like, what if you were royalty? Like, what if you were actually a princess?
Whatever we do, we can't do Jupiter Ascending. We can't make it like that because then it'll suck. But
all right,
if I'm suddenly a princess,
here's the plot I'll throw at you two.
Okay.
The plot I'll throw at you two is Big Brother type wants to like save his sister, and also meets a gal that he can trust to leave his sister with. No romantic relationship, no fucking rom-com stuff. It's like their interactions overlap, and she's just like, dude, you would get along really great with mom. And he could like literally be like, I just trust her with it. What if your sister, like all sorts of weird stuff, like you set your sister up.
Well, I mean, I figured like one thing we need to do is we need to rescue like Doug's sister at some point. But if
Doug's sister is actually super young. She's probably 17.
Okay. If I were
18.
If I were suddenly a princess,
I'm hitting it with the 17 dar.
I was thinking
that'll
about
keep
this.
me from being too awful with her.
Here's the thing: does Shelly know that Muriel was the one that called the cops?
No.
If she ever found
There's
out
no way
about
to do
that,
that.
probably one of my plans was if she ever found out of that, she was just going to casually tell the bikers about what Meryl did in hopes that they would murder her.
They're literally going to get somebody murdered.
I'm neutral. At least I was. She's starting to have a conscious. She's starting to have a conscious now, thanks to all the stuff happening with Doug. So I might be slipping.
Yeah, you don't have the deeper questions to ask what kind of Eddie he makes. Like, by the way, Janos, like Doug is finding out about the weird shit with Janos.
Okay.
Janos may be a ran, which is just a fancy way to say a sort of like it's a being trapped inside of a soul stone. It's a lich. Like it's trapped in a soul stone. It's put inside of another person. So,
well, I mean, as far as Shelly knows, like he said, he would be able to clone Eddie, and it would be he could bring him back to life and at least make him, for all intents and purposes, he would be him. It wouldn't really be him, but it would be better than nothing. So, I mean, as far as you know, that's what she's getting. You have not you have not suggested at all to her that she's going to get some kind of pet cemetery kind of shit going on. In which case she would be like, no, don't do that.
It's not pet cemetery. It's like 87%
dead is better.
Like, what if this guy keeps save copies of everyone?
That's actually a really good idea.
Anyhow, the character you're getting is what we're going to call 87% Eddie. So it's like Ed, and Eddie. So Ed can die a few more times, I assume. What we're going to do to him is have his abilities decrease like Eddie. So first stage was double D. So that's full intelligence. Second stage is Ed, 1D. Excuse me, 2Ds. So Eddie is the second stage, used car salesman level. So Eddie, 87% is literally like that. All right, so let's see what you can do with your minion.
Minion?
Let's make him a minion. Like, because he's alive because of you, he's sort of like your little pet.
She doesn't think of him that way.
Well, this copy you've made does.
Okay.
It has selected memories that make it absurd.
Okay. She doesn't know any of this, and she'd rather not know.
She wouldn't. I guess you'd have to start getting desperate.
Yeah. I mean, she's
I guess the first thing he'd do is try to pay her loan.
She's slowly trying to she's slowly researching this shit because of necessity. And like she doesn't have the lust, the hunger for knowledge that Doug had, but like she's learning about this stuff kind of because she has to, because it's a matter of life or death. But it's like she's not lost on the majesty and kind of beauty at all. I mean, she's not John Crichton or anything like that. But she
Hold on, no, yeah, it's definitely not John Crichton because you want her to have superpowers. What superpowers did you want her to have, Eddie?
Hang on, I gotta actually get her character sheet out.
He's actually gonna decide for the character sheet. No, Eddie, I asked you. What superpower should she have?
That is like asking me, because I planned this whole character creation because I didn't know how you were going to go about it. So I wrote it down of possible denting powers, and it's still written on here.
So these are called erratas.
Okay.
Erratas are things you do to decrease the amount of fragmenting your character does, or to make something stronger. It's like a super special.
This is our version of like Gnosis or Disciplines or whatnot.
These are just passive abilities most of the time. Some are active.
Okay.
So now you guys can do corruption and stuff like that. And
what I wanted to do for her was I wanted to get like full manifestation powers. So like and I'm not sure if I understood it correctly, but I figured like max would be like 5 dots in manifestation would be fusion. So like so essentially I was going to be going for shooting cosmic nuclear lasers out of my hands. But like, I wouldn't mind all the stuff in between, like cold power, gravitation, manipulation, magnetism, photons, heat.
Oh, those might be broken up because of their abilities.
Yeah.
But
and electricity. I wouldn't mind electricity. And then manipulation was the one stage mattership. I was going to go for manipulation 1 and just being able to like casually like shift matter into different states.
I think what I'm going to have is the matter you create, energy comes out in one of frequencies, and then from there you use manipulation to bring that frequency into either it's a state of matter. Like, you can create matter. You can create your own little pocket. It's just sort of weird things that you can do.
Okay.
But yeah. So we can decide about all sorts of crazy stuff. So you want to be able to shoot death lasers, or are these just powerful, very strong, hurdy lasers?
Well, I mean, according to the sheet you gave me, like 5 for what is this called? 5 for manifestation is like fusion. So it's like, yeah.
Death lasers. Hold on. Death lasers is really, really strong. So how do I know you're not going to abuse this to just be like, I don't want to deal with this story, or I'm bored?
I suppose you'll have to trust me.
I trust no one, Eddie. That's
first thing that comes
Eddie. I am Dr. House. Everybody lies.
That's true. Well, I mean, it all depends on how much power you give me, or like, it's like again, these are my desires.
You want to shoot. You want to shoot fusion beams. You want to shoot fucking fusion beams. Beams of pure fucking fusion energy.
Yes.
The helium up in this motherfucker. You know, if you smell ozone after electricity, everybody be talking in a high voice because fusion creates helium.
Yes. Are you saying you're going to create helium?
I am thinking about what you would do with fusion very easily. Besides create temperatures so great that they just roast everything like wave and.
Oh, I was definitely thinking about using it offensively. Like if
start.
A monster fucking attacks me, I'm gonna blow the fuck out of it. So
it's true. Hold on, we can't go up to just that. What we're gonna start with is your character position. Fucking Douglas has been doing terrible imposition.
Terrible what?
So he's been Douglas's imposition, his character's ability to exert his will, has been terrible. He's been rolling bad. He's fragmenting a lot. And he also is like relying on Jesus to fix everything. It's the silliest shit. And I can't take it.
You laugh now. You laugh.
I want to find D20 stats.
But it works.
No, there's no Bible man. I don't want to deal with that. That's not my comedy pursuit.
There's a Bible man. It may not be in your universe, but
I'm not going to have it. No, I'm saying as a DM, I forbidden. It's verboten.
You forbid Bible.
It's just. I can't get behind it. I can't write anything. I can't imagine anything that makes Bible Man seem valid to me.
You need to see the Cinema Snob's review of Bible Man.
I don't care. No, how about this? I don't care enough to do that.
But it's just so funny.
I don't want to have a Bible Man. That's just it. Okay. I'm the one running the campaign. Yeah, Bible Man is obnoxious.
And of course, in your game, you won't have to deal with Bible Man, but one day you might be playing my game. And when you least expect it, Bible Man will be there.
Eddie,
and all his Kirk Cameron-ness. And he'll
save
the day by praying to Jesus.
Eddie, I'm trying to move on with what I'm talking about for my game.
Okay.
We're not having your game right now. We're having mine. Thank you. I'm just saying what we need to have my game move fluidly for me to stay interested. It can't just be Bible Man. It can't just be I shoot fucking high-pitched screaming beams at people.
What, are you talking about my fusion powers?
Yeah. If you manifested fusion powers, that'd be... But if you, let's say, had... like... the ability to manipulate matter.
Okay.
Like, one form of matter, liquid, and one type of matter. Like, if you had perfect ability to manipulate one type of... what would it be?
I would think it would be water or liquids due to the fact that she has a water connection. Or are you asking?
What about? Yeah, but there's water and there's air. And there's a few other things. Like, I'm also asking, what if you could manipulate one sort of frequency, like just the gaseous plane?
Gaseous plane?
Like, you could separate oxygen from carbon and all that other stuff. You had, like, perfect control over create vacuum pockets.
Okay. Well, what about that ability?
You can make thunderclaps, like, because you just spread the air out and then allow it to come back. Oh man! But if you did a huge vacuum from one point, pop someone's head.
I mean, that'd be cool, and that'd be the type of thing that I feel like if I had these powers, that would be great. But it also seems kind of complicated. That seems like almost like a Naruto spell or something like that. It's like I'm not sure. I'm not sure Shelly's is that smart enough to do that. I mean, it's like
fucking
she's stupid.
Water.
Like,
how are we? All right. What do you see this character doing? Will she be fighting them? Hi-ya! Punching them and stuff. Like, what are we doing here? She fucking her problems away.
Okay, repeat the question one more time. All of it.
How does Shelly interact with the universe? Like, what's her go-to reaction to dealing with something?
What kind of something? It depends on the situation.
Yeah, see, that's just too like I'm just trying to get something going here. But
Well, give
in
me a
the
situation. Give me like what am I talking to? Dealing with a person?
situations are very specific. But I'm like, if something gets in your way, so like there's a closed door in a factory that's on fire. It's like, do you kick it down? Do you try to shrug the handle? Do you get somebody else to help you? Like
If people
or
are
like
if people are dying inside, she's gonna take her shotgun and she's gonna blow the lock off, carefully trying not to hit anybody that would be on the other side. But her go-to would actually be a gun, actually.
So what if you didn't have to rely on?
Say it again.
What if you didn't have to rely on a gun?
Yeah, I didn't have a gun. I'd probably, if I had to, I'd kick the door down, but that wouldn't be her go-to. She'd actually look for help.
What if you had a special ability? What special ability would you use to overcome this instead of a?
If I had superpowers?
Yeah.
If Shelly had superpowers?
Yeah.
Telekinetic force push to knock the door down?
Telekinesis is pretty strong, but I don't know if I want to.
I mean,
but we're gonna work with it. Yeah, but like, what if your tire goes flat, and you have to find a way to get down a long road?
Well, I think the way I would solve that problem was I would first check to see if I have a spare tire and try to change the tire.
And in the most perfect, I could do whatever I want situation,
she would change the tire and get back in her car.
Fly.
Okay, you're asking me these questions as if Shelly is a type of character that thinks of having herself as having superpowers. In her natural state, she
I'm saying,
have that.
like, you like Buffy because it has superpowers, essentially. It's an action.
It's the whole thing. I like this. It's a science fiction, fantasy, action adventure. There's a lot, and actually, there's
science
more than that.
fiction.
There's more than that.
It's
too.
pure fantasy.
Well, yeah, but there's. I mean, it feels like well-written science fiction. It's kind of a superhero show at times too. It's a drama. It's a comedy. There's a lot to like about the show. So, I don't know.
But I'm thinking about what to do with your character.
What would I think like what I'm more concerned about at this point is okay, what would make you more interested at this point? Because I'm enjoying the game. I'm interested to see what you're gonna come up with. I'm like, so I mean, I don't know how much like useful my suggestions would be at this point. I'm just kind of living as the character as she is at this point. So it's like she's really just kind of she's just trying to get information on Psy right now. That's where she's at right now.
I'm always open, but I'm trying to see like what do you feel your character in the next step?
Well, the next step is to get information out of Psy. And like to like at this point, I guess get to know more about her.
Not just the next step, the next main goal. Like, what is the next main goal?
Well, I mean, are we talking about right this minute, or are you talking about like after?
Like the overarching goal of your character, if they deal with all this little petty shit.
At this point, the overall arcing goal of her character would be probably to help Doug and help Doug get his sister, and also make sure that Eddie's properly cloned, and figure out why the other is dealing with is after her, and what that's about, and how to get away from that if at all possible. Like, she's probably not thinking specifically about killing the other, because that seems like something impossible for her at this point. It's like, again, she has the mind. She doesn't have the mindset of a superhero. She has the mindset of an ordinary person. It's like, how do I get out of this? So, but she doesn't understand the situation enough to really get to that point. So right now, she's in an information gathering stage. Right now, she's like, I need to know more. And she's having kind of like bombshell after bombshell. And at this point, she's kind of getting a nerd to it. She's like, oh, this guy's my father. Okay, cool. So, what do you know about my past? It's like she's reached this point where it's like, look, she's had her mind blown like many times in the past 4 days. She's like broken. It's like there's just like there's no I'm overgasped. I can't be gasped anymore. I can't be too astonished anymore. It's just kind of like just yeah, of course. It's like, oh, your mother's really secretly made of cotton candy. Of course she is. Of course my mother's secretly made of cotton candy, because why not? That's really like what her day's been like at this point. It's like, oh, Donald Trump's really a Care Bear. He's a giant Care Bear mutated by mutagen. It's like, of course Donald Trump is. It's like, at this point she's just gonna roll with it, because that's what her day's been like. That's what her month's been like, basically.
That's great.
I
want to see y'all rolling with it, but I also want to see y'all engaged. So what's engaging?
Well, the game and playing the character and finding out what's happening next. I want to see where the story's going to go next.
You're more interested in where the story's than having things.
She's already. Let me put it this way, dude. I'm already doing everything I want to do. If that makes any sense. The character is perfect the way she is right now to me.
Eddie. The problem is.
Now, well, you didn't finish your sentence there.
The problem is that I want to blow your phone. And if you were able to hear it clearly, weird, soft whisper.
Okay, all right. Well, you're successfully doing that. Is all I can tell you. You're doing fine.
I don't feel like.
I think you're being a little.
I need to make you cry. See.
Look, you kind of got cut off at that point, but like you said, you wanted to make me cry.
Cry about the sea.
Okay, keep working on that.
I want you to be. I need your character to say the oceans are dead. It's.
Oh, I know what's going on here. This has nothing to do with the game. This is an environmental bullshit. This is the whole fucking like Pacific Island of trash thing again. That's all this is. This is a political, environmental debate wrapped within disguise a discussion about role play. Well, yeah. I never. Shame.
Eddie, I'm gonna make you. Hold on. The only goal of this is to make you figure out.
You keep cutting out, man.
The only goal I have here in this story about the. What I need to do is give you. Damn. Speed. Just. I build up electricity or something. Or it's probably the fan hitting it. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, it's probably the fan hitting them speaking.
Okay.
But yeah, so what I'm trying to do here is make you care about the oceans.
I already care about the ocean. I did research on the trash island. I want you to
care more.
The
what islands?
I already did research on the trash ocean, the trash island that you're talking about in the Pacific. It's actually, okay. Actually, that's one of the criticisms of it, is they call it an island when it's not really an island. It's really just a kind of a measurement of how much trash is in a given area. And there's more than one. There's one in the Atlantic. There's ones all over the place. And it's like, but there's also, they're doing stuff to fix it already. They're developing new technology. They're developing skimmers that can actually take. It's not hopeless. It's not a hopeless thing. I feel like, and this is a real world thing, I feel like you think I don't care about these things that you bring up. I do. It's just that's my faith. I feel like it's all going to be okay at the end of the day. I believe.
What if it's not okay?
Then we'll make it better. Then if it's going to be, it's up to me. I'm not Bible man. I'm not just gonna pray to God and let God solve my problems for me, because God helps those who helps themselves. So I'm gonna start working to fix on it, and I'm gonna ask God for help, or as I like to call him, Crumb. All I ask is you grant me vengeance.
All right.
Revenge, and if you will not help me, then to hell with you. And my God roars back
Eddie.
like, yeah.
Eddie.
What
would you like more of on your character? Skills, attributes, other traits?
A bunch of experience points that I can put in wherever I want.
You want to make her grow in all sorts of things. Don't know if I can.
Shelly is not enough of a Mary Sue yet, sir.
You can't marry Sue every character.
Damn it.
He wants to go from a B cup to a D cup.
Yes.
Is that?
Yes.
Is
no.
That
that's no, write that down. Write that down. I need bigger boobs. Okay. With Shelly's like attributes and like how I've been spending the skill points, it's just been whatever I seem to need at a given point. Like, I kind of want to be decent at combat, but I've been kind of like, if I can't think of what to give her, I kind of do things randomly, because I figure like, anything could potentially need improvement. So
Eddie, you have no aims. Your goals are unfixed.
Well,
they're only as fixed as long as it takes you to solve a certain problem.
She works at a tattoo parlor, dude. She works at a tattoo parlor and hangs out at dive bars all the fucking time. She is aimless. She's a reflection of me, actually, in many ways, which is very sad. But it's like that's Shelly is an aimless being. Yeah, that's part of her problem. But it's like I've been like specifically.
How do we fix that? How do we fix that?
Give her a goal. Give her something that she needs to shoot for. Give her a reason to live.
How do we make her goal seeking? What's that thing they always want us to do inside of jobs? Be a self-starter?
Well, she is. She's investigating the whole thing. She's talking to Sai. She's talking to Sai, and she gets some information. I don't know about you. I'm ready to play, man. We've been talking for like an hour. And this is a fucking...
Hopefully you've not been recording.
I've been recording all of this.
Oh, no.
I mean, we could...
But we haven't done much with Doug, either. I've been trying to get Doug's character more solidified.
Well, okay,
I sent Doug horrifying hentai
Davis,
to make him respond.
Stop sending him horrifying hentai, for God's sakes. For God's sakes. I've already scared him talking about all the porn I was watching today.
Oh, man. Is this under the recording now? Is this going to be on the show?
Davis, I'm telling you, man. Like, okay, Julie Marie Sullivan is really hot. She's really hot.
I'm not going to say that was scaring me. The part that was worrying me was that you were downloading all of it. Is what your goal was.
You two need to watch The Dead Want Women because it's a really good softcore porn disguised as a horror movie, and it's really good. The women are hot.
No,
it's a cute little story. It's a full moon classic.
No. Eddie, I have a big writing Shelley's family that's got all the way up to that you have.
You're cutting out again, dude.
I have the grandparents for all sides of the family. I have books here that Doug needs to read inside of Doug's stuff.
I don't even know who her grandparents are. I'm intrigued.
You know Bob's grandparents. You know your grandparents on Bob's side and your mom's side. On your mom's side, your grandparents...
I'm sure Shelly does, but I don't. I don't know who her grandparents are.
Shelly's grandparents for Shelly on Julie's side are nice people. They're like middle class, they're decent, normal people. I don't know if I'm going to have the granddad be dead or just grandma dead and grandpa. Like, they're just nice, normal fuckers.
Okay.
Now, on Bob's side, they're assholes. You don't have enough of those, so I always have to add. But what happened with Bob's side?
Well, I'm sure he just let down the family by becoming a hippie.
Howard and Rhonda. So Howard is the heir to a bank firm. Rhonda is the heiress to a big box. So these people have a shit. And
okay, what are they heirs to again?
They're heir to a bank firm and a banking. And Rhonda is the heiress to a big box company. Like, they are old, set in their ways. Like, money comes up from Titanic.
Okay.
Really old Titanic.
Okay.
So, fucking Pride and Prejudice money.
Yeah.
Whereas your mom is Julie Bennett. So, that was her original.
Okay.
And
Julie Bennett was my mom's name?
Yeah. And lots of people called her piss you off.
What'd they call it?
Or maybe Bob called her.
Called her what?
What? Your mom.
What'd they call my mom?
What?
What did they call her back in the day?
She was they called her Jules. It's an easier name.
Jules.
But
okay.
her original name was Bennett. The father that raised you, Bob, married her. Her middle name is Oz. But
what's his middle name?
So Oswald.
Okay.
Like, he's old money. He's like, his family, like, dad went to Princeton. They came over to America somewhere around World War I.
Okay.
Like, they're just really old money. Rhonda is heiress to, like, fucking Sears. Or all that other. Like, she is old money. And just shit ton of money. And they don't like you. Now, here's one thing I want to point out, though. They like the bitch sister.
Oh, do they?
I did. Yeah. Lindsay, they love her. She's seeing a guy named Chad.
Well, he's like yeah. He's like a marquee, right?
All the other kids are not liked by Bob. Actually, no. They're okay with Nora, but they're not warm with. They don't like you either. They don't like Sherry just because she's weird, and they don't like Emily too much. But Lindsay plays the part and gets old money to like her, and her boyfriend Chad.
Okay.
But Nora's doing well on her own. She might be able to get a music career off the ground. Sherry's at college in Orlando. Lindsay is at college. I think she's going to be over in Sarasota at New College. So you know it's like all a lie. She's actually like really a shit person. And
Lindsay's in is going to college where?
At New College of Sarasota.
Okay.
It's actual college. You can look it up. Anyhow, Lindsay is probably playing Harold or Howard and Rhonda, which is also probably getting played by her boyfriend Chad. You just hate each other. We haven't decided if she's a bitch because she's like all proper, or if she's a bitch because she's like a worse, like trashier girl than you.
I was thinking that she was basically like my real life sister Michelle that we just don't like. We just don't. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I figured like, yeah, she just is a bitch. She just doesn't like the family and is just always got a bad attitude. And mind you, I figured her family's kind of annoying anyway because they're hippy dippy parents and.
All right, so what if Lindsay is like Lindsay Lohan, like awful, or like Paris Hilton?
Yeah, it could be.
Like, you know.
I was thinking like mean.
Bob?
Like she's just like just kind of a mean person.
All Bob has to do is outlive Howard. If Bob outlives Howard, y'all all get the money. If Bob dies before Howard, Lindsay looks like she's ingratiated herself enough to get all the money. She also seems like she's really like Chad's thing. Chad's like Chad could steal the money from her, even. Like weird shit like that. Julie's parents, they're just normal people. It was the 50s, no, earlier than the 50s, so it was possible just a housewife. So like the Bennetts were Carl Bennett and Elaine Bennett.
I'm imagining an alternate universe where Julie's parents were the main characters from The Blob. They were just nice kids who hung out, you know, and like...
No. I'll decide who's still alive. Who do you want to be alive, Carl or Elaine? Now, I'll explain their roles. Elaine was a housewife, and Carl was a school. Your mom is 46, by the way.
I'm writing all this down, so...
Your mom's 46. Your dad is 46. Cy Vasilios is 55. Question. Nora is 28. You are 23. Sherry is 21. Lindsay is 20. Emily is 19.
How old are all my parents again?
Cy Vasilios may be 55. Julie Bennett Starr is 46. And your dad, Bob, is 46 as well. He's actually a very young man.
Okay. I have no preference as to which one Carl or Elaine are alive.
Howard, Rhonda, Carl, and Elaine. Like Carl and Elaine, they're younger. They're probably like 65, 70. Okay. But Howard and Rhonda, they're like 80. 70 through 80.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, they're super rich though.
Yeah. I would like it if she knew the grandparents on the mom's side, like they were just like, so even if one of them passed away, like.
Oh no, I've decided that the grandparents on the mom's side were involved with the family. They were good people.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Julie's just a nice girl.
Yeah.
The thing that happened with Cy is questionable.
Okay. All right. Yeah, like if one of them passed away, that's actually something she would be sad about. Actually, I think if I recall, like in my backstory, she was close to one of her grandparents. I think we did in fact establish that.
All right.
Yeah.
Bring it back up with me in full.
Yeah. Okay. It's one of my significant events of childhood. I bonded with my great grandfather on my mother's side.
Oh, okay.
And
Great grandmother's side.
I mean, if you want to
So-
include that, or we could just say that would just be.
Who is the great grandfather of? Was it the housewife or the school?
I don't have a preference. Why don't we just roll? Let's say it was Elaine.
Elaine's up.
Yeah.
Who could he be?
Okay.
Who was the Bennett Prime? No, Carl would pass on. What's Elaine's last name? I gotta find Elaine's maiden. Do you want to give me a maiden name, or should I come up with
Come up with one.
Hodgins?
Okay.
Do you like it?
Sure.
Now I need to find out what Hodgins is. Look it up.
What am I looking up?
Hodgins. The last name Hodgins.
What do you want me to look it up? What do you want me to? What do you want me to?
It
Look
might
up?
be Irish.
Oh, okay.
Like what could you have gotten from your Irish granddad?
Irish granddad. Well, he was always nice to me. You know. Maybe he got me interested in fantasy. Told me old Irish folklore. And that's why she's.
Maybe granddaddy.
What's that?
Granddad
I can't hear you, man.
said maybe granddaddy touched you.
No, he didn't. He did not. I did not
Who
know that
knows?
in my backstory.
I don't know,
You can do whatever
because
you
there's
want.
a great
You
chance
could do
that
whatever you want to her
you're-
in her previous lifestyle, life, like in the Atlantean.
that
version.
character's a pederast, by the way.
Who is?
The character, your past life was a pederast.
Wait, my character is a past life was a pederast, like Shelly.
Yeah, remember we were saying it might be a guy? So
Yeah.
it's like he had a character that was like used
But
by
you
the
said I was a
priests. that they
sacrificial
grew up to-
virgin.
We also
Like, how could I be a
say that
pederast if I haven't had sex before?
Vestal, not sacrificial. But I don't know, the gods work in mysterious ways. I have a lot of gay stuff.
I did not conceive this character as a pederast. I would like to. We do not need fuel for my first troll Russian robot, sir.
Oh, do we?
No,
So I'm
we
having
don't.
fun with this. You seem very uncomfortable. So happy. All
I'd
right,
rather,
so
I'd rather not. I mean, I already know you're going Counselor Troy on me, so it's like, you know.
well, no, it wasn't your dad. All right, yeah. The reason I made this is your. Yes. Okay. So Sai is essentially that guy that the dream.
The dream what?
Sai is essentially your mom is Miss Marvel, right? Julie Bennett. Just go from has a great relationship with a guy named Bob Oz. Sai Vasilios comes from fucking not space but Rome or Greek space, and bam, gets your mom knocked up.
Okay.
He's a naiad, so that makes fun stuff. His father was a Merid. That's what they are, Merid. M-A-R. His mom was a Zane. I don't know. Do you want to have him be a super elemental creature that was the reason why your body was chosen as a host?
Repeat that question again.
All right. If your character was a Pokemon, what typing would your character?
I don't know anything about Pokemon. That's why I'm playing a World War II guy.
All right. If your character is paper, rocks, or scissors all the time, what would they be?
Rock.
Okay. So I have to make things fucked up and twisted. I can't just have things. So Rhonda and Howard, more to that meets the.
You keep on cutting down, man.
I'm sorry. I keep sitting out in front of my fan, and so my mic on my cuts back on noise because of the background noise from the fan.
Okay.
All right, so that's a lot of brainstorming for your character. Still, without enough done for Ed's character.
All right,
Douglas's character.
Doug, Davis, it's your turn.
Okay, so while y'all were talking, I did construct a little bit of the family for the sisters, at least.
Okay.
So,
How did you come up with your siblings?
I just kind of went with what I figured would have made sense. Just thinking of like free writing and just going with it, and then seeing what made sense and what didn't, and went with it.
I don't know if I approve of this, because beforehand we were talking like Major Armstrong, which gave me lots of ideas. So you're going to have to sell me on this. All right, so tell me about the sisters.
So we got Gertrude, who's 17. She still lives with the mother because she's still 17. But she's noted as being part of Doug's happiest memories while growing up because he helped raise her. He has a strong desire to protect her, and this particular sister has always relied on him. And it's also noted that he came to the United States in order to search for her after being abducted. Isabel is 24. She's the oldest. She's already married, but has no kids. Currently, no plans of kids. She's attending college for a master's in education. She was raped at the age of 15.
Holy shit.
Why?
And she was also jealous of Gertrude for not only the innocence that she had was able to retain.
Hold on. Why was she
raped?
Why was she raped?
Yeah, rapes are
who was the rapist?
I haven't gotten that deep yet.
Rapes are pretty rare. All right.
I haven't gotten that deep yet.
That's a bit further than you need to go on. To base the background.
I don't have more than 5 major points for each of these characters, by the way, or for each of these sisters.
All right, so you
have a little bit of expansion on.
Gertrude, give me the central casting PDF at some point.
All right, give me the other one.
The other reason she was jealous of Gertrude was also because she garnered more attention just from being the youngest. That does happen. And we have Serafina, who's 22. Her and Doug had been living together in order to split bills, even though she didn't need it, but Doug kind of needed the help. And she has a bit of an interest in the occult because Doug was interested in it, and they kind of talked about it a little bit. She's more eccentric in her dressing style, so think more Harajuku.
Harajuku.
What?
What's Harajuku?
It's an eccentric dressing style that's
Does she dress
started
sexy?
in Japan.
Is
No,
it
it's more like it's more like highly. It's more like highly eccentric and lots of accessories.
Extra sexies.
It's not about being sexy. It's about being cute for yourself.
She's
titty.
Lena.
She's not.
Gabrielle.
We have a friend named Lena. That's your my.
Oh
character.
God, Lena.
Yeah.
Oh fucking Lena. Oh, that's so sad to say about somebody.
Yeah.
You want to hear something worse?
What's that?
I matched highly app one time. Fucking made me want to.
You cut out like 3 times. Say that again.
It made me want to die because I matched with them. Okay, so it's looks like pastel goth. Also, random for the sake of random. I hate it. It isn't sexy, but I could see how it's like, aren't we so cute? Oh, someone tried to make some sexy versions. Those are sexy versions. Yep. It is banned. No Harajuku.
But she's not doing sexy stuff. Anyways.
I don't care.
I mean, it would make sense if she was a weeb because it's like, and it sounds like these two,
I need
Doug's
your
close
sister,
to her, and they're both
your
weebs.
baby sister will be the weeb. Your baby sister's allowed to be the weeb. No one else is. If everybody's going to be shitty and mean to you or just make your life hell, that would make sense for your one sister to be so important. Instead of waiting on the cops. if your character doesn't have some sort of special shit that brought him up.
Anyways, moving on. She's also an entrepreneur who has quickly gained some wealth out of her business, and is actually helping fund Doug's trip throughout the United States in order to help him
I was wondering
stay
where the
afloat.
money was coming from.
No, just to find his sister, really? Like, is this like Bloodsport? Is this like a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie and not Street Fighter?
I mean, they're similar. They're definitely similar. He
No, because his character is getting put through this life by others. And, Jean-Claude Van Damme never goes willingly, it seems. They're like, I'm joining this fight to win. He's like, I'm joining this fight because they stole my daughter.
Have you seen Kickboxer?
Yeah. But I'm talking about.
I can see this as a kickboxer, with the mustache.
I feel like this is a little small for. Like Kickboxer with his character wanting to know about music and shit is a bit small. We need to add on. You gotta sell me this. All right, give me the other sibling. I got Isabel, Serafina.
I just had a thought. It's like I think something I hadn't really connected about Doug until just now is like the whole fact that he's a fighter who has an interest in the occult sounds kind of like an old school comic book character. They're like a lot of old school comic book characters are kind of ultra talented for kind of no reason. So like there's a character called US1 who is literally he is a superhero trucker. But in addition to having his superpowers and having his truck, he went to Yale and he was a great football player. He had all these really crazy skill sets that set him up. And so his life goal is to be a trucker, which makes no sense. So I mean, that's it feels like there's a comic book touchiness to Doug, where it's he has these two kind of conflicting interests that are. It just so happens magic and boxing. That's him. So it's
I only care about magic and boxing. Yes.
It's not. I don't.
All right,
I don't think it's bad, but that's what it reminds me of.
What's the next sibling?
I already gave you all of them. There are 3.
Doug is 26.
23.
So you're between Isabel and Sarah.
Yes.
We're the same age.
Don't you know Russian or Germans are fucking efficient? That's inefficient as hell.
What do you mean it's inefficient?
It's inefficient as hell. I will tell you how your parents would have had you. They would have had you staggered out over the course of 2 years each because of the fact that they both get 6 months of paid off time with the child first. I think the mom gets 8 months and the kid gets 4. But yeah. So they get paid leave to be with their kids. They take advantage of that, obviously. They're paid to watch over their at the full rate. Isn't that amazing? America doesn't have.
Yeah, America doesn't have that.
Yeah, isn't that fucked up? So everybody would actually be a lot more diverse in age. So also, I believe your character should be older. I'm sorry, but for your character to be 3, not really feeling it. So you can either be, he has to either be, he has to be older than you, but.
Well, I mean,
7.
A lot of the dumb things that make sense that he's not older.
But him being 27 means that I think he should be the oldest, or not the oldest child. Isabel could be the oldest, but he'd be the second, which will explain why. Because the second child is often ignored. Now, he can also choose to be the third child. Really odd for Serafina. Maybe. Maybe not. But I don't want Serafina to also be an occult weeaboo. Why is she the fucking occult weeaboo? Come from Germany. Unless mom is actually Asian or some weird shit like that. I don't see this happen.
Are you saying that weeaboos can't be German? Malmodo, is that it? Are you saying
no? There's German weeaboos.
Don't appreciate anime.
Well, I was imagining her business to be more in fashion.
She dresses Harajuku, but in fashion. Do you know how much drugs you'd have to be on to think both of those are good ideas?
I'm not on any drugs.
Dude, I'm on some drugs right now, and I think that's bad.
That's probably why you think it's
wait a minute.
bad.
So, like, yeah. Yeah. Drug-free boys. For life, Davis. High-five me. High-five me across the internet. Yeah.
Anyhow, I'm just saying the Harajuku thing doesn't work. If Gertrude is doing all this stuff for you, Gertrude has to either be a responsibility.
Gertrude's the one that got kidnapped.
Yes, I understand. Doug to go out with his sister. So, for Doug to go out and save Gertrude. Why Doug? Why not relying on fucking... They're in Europe. They have Interpol. Interpol's pretty strong.
Because he's a Street Fighter character.
Cult.
He also wants to be one of the top world's topping fight fighters, so only he can beat M. Bison.
I'm seeing this guy as the cross.
I did mention that Doug has a strong desire to protect Gertrude.
Yeah, but it seems tense. We have Doug, like a cult, boxing. Like, that's what I have written down for your characters.
Or kickboxing.
English boxing.
Which is even...
Sure, it's not a wolf that kickboxes. A really strong wolf. A strong boy, if you will.
Alright. So... what if we could do something with your boxing? Like either shooting out cards of rock or doing phantom punches and shit like that. Because I'm Kuwabara. There we go. Eddie, do you know who Kuwabara is?
Of course I know who Kuwabara is. I love Yu Yu Hakusho.
Excellent. So I'm going to Kuwabara his character. That's what he's...
So he's going to get a spirit sword that can cut through dimensions and is instrumental in the plot of the third season?
He might, yeah, he'll be instrumental in the plot of the third season.
Okay, that means, alright, so, Davis, you're going to get abducted by a former spirit detective who hates the world and is crazy.
Wants everyone to...
Yeah, and you're going to be used to open a gateway to hell and have everybody eaten and destroyed by powerful Lovecraftian demons. And,
his sister is.
And I've got to learn how to do a spirit gun and go rescue you, and then it's going to be revealed that my granddaddy was a demon, and so I have Mazaku powers, and that's what's going to happen. Then the final season is just going to be a big tournament, and it's going to be cool, and we're all going to get closure. And the movie's going to be cool, but it's going to be non-canon, so that's going to happen.
Yeah, Hodgins.
Yeah. The weeb doesn't know what we're talking about, Malmodo. Because
no, I've got it on my list.
You need to see Yu Yu Hakusho. It's a great show.
No,
I've got it on my list.
Damn straight.
Escaflowne and transgender before transgender was cool. Like, have you ever noticed that neoliberalism works like this?
I'm so happy you broke up a couple
people
times
that are actually like speaking out for it's acceptable, right? And then neoliberalism is where they start, when everybody's okay with it, then they start putting out products to make, like Disney has been safely sitting back, waiting for everybody else to break ground on gay marriage and transgenders in the bathroom and so forth. And then once it's all settled, like they haven't said anything about transgenders in bathrooms yet either. But once it's all settled, then they're like, oh yeah, Disney supports the gays. And they say it quietly, and everybody's like, hooray! And just starts throwing money at Disney.
It's all marketing. It's all to make money.
I know. That's why I'm very, very cynical and snot.
So you're cynical? No. You're silly. You're silly. Oh, pshaw. You're nothing but sunshine and roses, sir. Your glass is half full. Thank you very much.
So if we're gonna Kuwabara, you know what else is great if your character gets Kuwabara?
All right,
Kuwabara also had a badass older sister. Holy shit! Your character is Kuwabara.
And you also you got to have poofy hair, And
you
have,
also
like,
are a badass older sister.
All right, so you're gonna be like the weakest character out of the 4 like main anime heroes, but like you're the one that everybody loves. You're like the fan favorite because you're the heart of the team. You're like the best.
Yeah.
You have the best moral. Kuwabara is like my favorite fucking character in that show. He seriously is.
That some bitch. Yeah, he is.
Kuwabara's fucking awesome. It's like,
He also loves very
okay,
innocent, sweet little girl.
imagine if Vegeta was like really happy, was like more like bros with Goku, and like instead of being like angry Batman all the time. I mean, because Vegeta does respect Goku, but it's like they hate each other. Like with Kuwabara, it's like there's a rivalry, but at the end of the day, they're like the best of friends. It's like, imagine if Krillin became Vegeta. Like, that's really like what essentially Kuwabara was.
No, Kuwabara was a good balance. He was a rival, an actual rival from a different gang.
And
but Yu Yu Hakusho went from a fucking high school to fucking destroying the universe. Yu Yu Hakusho was fucking major power for.
Yeah, he understood Yusuke better than anybody else did. And it was like he was like the best friend that he'd never really acknowledged. It was like they were never like it took like Yusuke dying for him to actually reveal how he felt about him. That he was his best friend. That he's like, he took his death really super hard. And they were like, once he came back from the dead, it was like they were their best friends for life at that point. It was really cool.
Yeah.
So it's like, and he's like, he's like Klingon, man. He's got like a Klingon sense of honor and duty, and he's like Worf. He is seriously like Worf. Because he's honorable and he's a warrior, but he's a good person. He's just a good, down-to-earth guy who will, like, gladly, just willingly sacrifice himself to help people. That's how awesome Kuwabara is.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Kuwabara is not a bad character to get converted into.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck you, Armstrong.
Kuwabara had a reason to go after the girl. Kuwabara had a reason because he was in love with her. It's that simple. He was just super cute, and he was just like, OMG.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like he didn't really know about it at first. It was like there was like the.
Oh yeah, that was other guy's sister, right?
That's Hiei's sister.
She was an ice spirit. Yeah.
Yeah, like his they're like a race of ice spirit women that live in somewhere in Demon World. But she had an affair with a fire demon, and like so the fire demon is his father. So it's like they're demons. they're Japanese yokai demons. So it's like, but yeah, and Yukina is actually like one of the few things that Hiei cares for. And I think Hiei's story has always been getting more powerful. Hiei is really more of the better Vegeta anagram, but he's like more even tempered than Vegeta.
Exactly like Vegeta.
Yeah, but he's more even tempered than Vegeta. I think it's like Hiei's more kind of like quiet.
Yeah, Vegeta will fuck everybody over to get.
Vegeta will lose his shit and start complaining loudly, and comically, whereas like Hiei will like bitch a little bit and then just shut up and go be a ninja. It's like, I'm not talking to you all for a while. It's like he'll get irritated and walk away, and the only person who can console him is Kurama, because Kurama gets him.
Yeah, Kurama gets everything.
Yeah.
That was the girl thing.
Yeah. Well, Kurama's the intelligent. He's the intelligent demon character, but who's diplomatic. He gets along with everybody, but at the same time, he's like the only. Yeah, he really like. He's always felt like Kurama's like one of the few people like Hiei will hang with, because it was like, you and I are better than them. We're demons. We're like they're annoying humans and obnoxious. I don't get why you like them so much. And it was like, just. And Kurama and Kurama's just mellow, and Kurama, of course, is the most deadliest motherfucker out of all of them. Kurama is Mr. Popo from the Team 4-Star. He's like, and he will swallow you in darkness.
Yeah. There's also that.
You will be raped and consumed by the Sarlacc for over 10,000 years.
Yeah. 3.
Shenron considers him its master.
Dude, he made that tree that attached onto one of the brothers.
Elder Tagiro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that tree?
The Sinner's Tree. It feeds off you, but it also keeps you like it feeds off you and basically gives you experience of constant violence and fighting, and gives you an illusion that you're constantly fighting and killing your enemy, But what you don't realize is this tree's attaching and just feeding off of you. And the thing is, it drains people's energy, and they eventually, like, die, and it just eats them all together. But the problem with Elder Taguro is he has a healing factor. So it's basically going to feed off of him for eternity, and he'll never die. He's like he's in a constant state of hell where he's constantly killing or trying to kill Kurama over and over again. He's basically chasing the dragon forever. He's basically Randy Marsh on heroin in that thing, just going like, It's like, Dad, get the fuck out of here! Doing heroin, chasing the dragon. It's like, yeah.
Catch me!
Kurama will end you. It was like... But yeah. But now we're talking about Yu Yu Hakusho and not the game. So you want to start playing the game?
I don't know. See, I was going to actually have a planning session soon enough. I mean, how many games have we played? 10?
I have a record, actually.
Chapter 10.
Yeah, I think if this is not Chapter 10, it's like we're about to do Chapter 10. I can check.
See? So...
Yeah, this would be Chapter 11.
Turn to the game.
No, 10.5.
If you want me to label it 10.5, I suppose I could.
It is the chapter between 10 and 11. It is like a side bit where we discuss characters and stuff.
Yeah, we can have some time here. I want Janos to be or the thing with Janos and with Sai to be a
Well, do you want to just, like, I mean, do you want to actually play a session, though, or you just want to, like, talk about the game for a bit?
Talking about direction, because, like, when I sold you playing the game, I know, but I sold y'all on playing the game, and I think we have to readdress that, market.
I can't get an erection unless we play at least once a week.
I understand that.
You know this.
See,
technically speaking, we have played this week because we played Monday.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Get that technical week bullshit up on here. Well, no,
ain't nobody got time for that.
It's 12:55 right now, so we should play. It's Sunday. It's a new week, motherfucker.
Well, no, we've technically got till Monday, so...
No, the week starts on Sunday, motherfucker. You're gonna pull this bullshit on me.
But this is the last day of a week since the last game. So, therefore,
okay, you are not allowed to make up the rules on this anymore, because that's what you're doing. That is exactly what you were doing.
Then actually, my school week start on Monday, so therefore, fuck you.
Anyway, but like, no, I can play.
You never made a paradox. I'm okay with it.
I mean, honestly, you've got me held in suspense. If I want to talk to Sai, but it's like if you want to plan for right now, I mean, all right. I guess I'll just.
Planning's important.
I guess I'll just like make characters and jerk off. So get my jolly somehow.
I know you did that already.
Eddie,
I'm just gonna watch. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna watch Chronicles of Wormwick again. I'm just gonna watch like Chronicles of Wormwick over and over again and just cry.
You know what you could do?
What's that?
You could play a role-playing game on your computer.
I've been doing
There's
that.
your weekly roleplay.
No, that's different.
Oh man, I really want to find some ROMs for the games I used to have.
It's not the same.
I know Cool ROM is a good website to get ROMs.
I want to get some money and get a 3DS, so I can get the new Pokemon game, so I can play Pokemon.
I do not regret sending you all furry porn just now.
I think Pokemon should always have a setup where they sell to all the regions when they input a new region. Like, every few years, they give you an updated version of every region. So it's like they add a new region and they have an updated story to Red's region, Kanto, and Johto. Like, there hasn't been a return to Johto.
I just realized what just happened.
What?
You just had a trust building exercise.
Yeah?
That's what this is.
What?
This is the office trust building exercise. We're not connecting anymore. So we had to like fall at each other's laps. That's what you just did. That's what you just did. We went to a weekend retreat.
There's none of that.
That's exactly what
We're
it is.
talking about what we're doing with your characters.
It was a trust building exercise.
I don't feel the love.
I don't feel trust. I only feel.
Consider your trust betrayed.
What?
There's definitely no trust in here right now.
I said consider your trust betrayed.
Oh my God.
No, you need to watch the Trust Joker parade. Trust. Who do you trust? How about?
Oh, do you mean from like the original Batman?
Yeah.
I remember that. I've recently seen that movie, like within the past 3
I like
years.
how people are like, I got that reference.
The original Batman is awesome.
Strong show.
But I've actually seen that movie within the last 3 years.
Yeah. Tim Burton's Batman's awesome. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Okay, Johnny. Drop the balls. All right, no.
I do feel like I have blue balls now, though. I gotta say.
Oh, because you didn't get.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna play, and we just talked about playing, and just like
Talked. We kept just
gotta
play.
throw my finger up my ass. And,
things we'd do if we were playing.
yeah, or we could have just played, and we could have played a game.
You know what, Eddie?
Done it.
You know what, Eddie?
What?
You can always play yourself.
I will.
Play yourself out, Eddie.
Well, what does that mean exactly? Like, am I going to be, like, just... Are we saying I'm jerking off, or are we saying that I would play myself in a game? Because I've done that before.
No, not play yourself in a game.
You play yourself out. You play yourself off.
You just want me to... Okay. Well, I mean... I'm going to jerk off, so, I mean, By the way, this is all recorded. Forever. So...
I'm so glad you're alerting people on you.
What?
You played yourself is a catchphrase which means to reveal one's own weaknesses.
Oh, no. Play yourself off stage. Play yourself off.
Oh! I get it.
So, yeah, we still have to work out what we're... Doug, I want to have come back with me with anything. Consider this an experience gathering thing. Like, I'll give y'all freebie points, a lot of freebie points, and merits galore if you want them. If you come back to me with some ideas. That sound good?
I mean, I guess
come
I'd
back
rather
to you
just
with what?
play and just like see what happens. I mean, I don't really, I don't know, man.
Quit whining. You don't always get what you want, you single greedy child.
Okay, but like we're like playing.
He apparently has a sister that I never heard of speak of before, named Marcel.
Michelle. I've talked about. I haven't talked to you about Michelle before.
No.
No, nobody likes Michelle in the family. I've got 2 sisters.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you were an only child.
No.
Are you the youngest?
I'm the youngest. Yes.
That explains it all. There you go.
Shut up, man. You don't understand.
No, I really don't.
Explains a little. But,
I was an only child, so I just understand the basic psychology behind it.
Okay.
Ooh.
I kind of got the experience of being the youngest and a only child. It's because I was born late, so it's a long story. No, I'm just saying it's like we were gonna play and we're not playing, and that's kind of
I know, Eddie. You got cucked.
Disappointing. So I mean, like,
No, it's all right because we're trying to work on your character. I'm trying to keep the game interesting. It's just to me stretching for time. I've been coming up with stories and stuff.
Okay.
I want to do the next big hook.
For the record, I I already find the game interesting. I didn't necessarily need this. I mean, if you feel you need it, okay, especially if you're just going to
I need it
eventually.
I need it. I need it from y'all to find out where I can go with this.
You can go from this.
He needs it so that he can get a boner.
Okay, look, dude, here's the thing, though.
My level of interest is reflective of my players.
You're the writer here. You're the writer. This is your world. I'm just walking in it. That is like how I approach pretty much any game. So, I mean, there's only so much I can give you. I feel like you're kind of like trying to reach into me for certain things. And it's like, I can't
Eddie, that's what I do. That's what a good author should do, is reach into.
Okay, but at a certain point, it's like, I don't know. There's not much. All I can tell you is I'm kind of like...
Eddie's like, there's not much inside me.
There's not much inside me. There's shit. I'm full of shit, I'll tell you that. But, I mean, it's like...
Oh, yeah.
Why am I not surprised?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think we're all full of shit.
But there's still not much inside of old Eddie.
I'm kind of what you see is what you get. I mean, I guess there's a lot of places you could take with this, but it's like, I mean, if you're... It feels like you're trying to get me to, like, start writing and building more of the character, like...
I'm trying to get your input on your character and the story.
You're trying to get to know the character. Yeah, but you're asking a lot of the questions you're asking that I think are designed to get more out of us are kind of unusual for the character. It's like there's not much meat for me to actually give you, given the types of questions you're asking. So, I mean, and on the top of that, it's like I don't feel like I should write the character more because I feel like her backstory is already established at this point, at least as far as she knows.
We're giving your character more depth, and more depth is always more story. And more stuff to do in the story.
In terms of Shelley's backstory...
Well, there's a few things. I'm trying to speed up gameplay, and one of the things I've realized is I've been very overly caring about how long combat goes. So, I mean, I'm going to have combat move a bit quicker.
Okay.
And hopefully, with the manifestation of abilities, crazier. This game is supposed to get a bit derailed at. But, not derailed, but, off the rail. Shade. But yeah, it's about, being super powerful, a superhero or like Kira.
Okay. All right. Well,
but I like to start small.
Okay, here's the thing. I mean, the thing is like for me, the character is going to like in terms of her backstory, there's a lot about her backstory that's unknown to her. And I feel like she's meant to discover that. I don't feel like it's...
All right, your character needs reveals. All right.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's my place to do the writing for you what her backstory is. I gave you a basic premise that her backstory is kind of mysterious, and I'm letting you kind of fill in the blanks for me. It's like, and I can understand...
I'm trying to. That's why I'm having a thing with Bermuda Triangle and actually having to go out there and stuff. I mean, this gameplay, I was thinking...
Helpful for you, man, but
hold on.
I don't feel like I should be like you could already give me 0 like experience points and merits like right off the bat because I don't feel like I should have to go dig things up for you. Like I don't feel comfortable doing that, and also I got other things going on right now. Like I feel like this is kind of in your corner at this point. It's like you're the dungeon master, you're running the world. So I mean,
no, I was saying like, do you have
at this point her backstory is already established. She is going with the flow and is going. Like, she's developing as a character based on what's happening in the story, and she's reacting to stuff. That's really about all I can do.
All right, but I was just seeing where to take the story. You're focusing on what you're trying to...
Well, I mean, the next place to take it is to continue the conversation with Sai. That's where we left off.
All right.
Finish that. That's like, I've been... And here's the thing. You've had me, like... I've been sitting on this since Monday, and you've already had the... You've done your job. I feel like you might be overthinking this because it's like you've already done the work of a cliffhanger. There's a delayed suspension of action to mellow on the plot. I've been doing that. I'm ready for the next chapter. So if I'm a little miffed right now that we're not playing, it's because I kind of want to know what's going to happen next, but instead you want to we need.
All right, Eddie, I was just making sure you fully appreciate this.
I do fully appreciate this story. I didn't realize I needed to.
No, this cliffhanger. Like, cliffhangers are actually meaningful.
It is, but I am a little annoyed that we're not going to do it, apparently.
Because it's such a cliffhanger.
Yeah, or no, that's bullshit. You just don't want to do it right now. So, okay. But, I mean, again, if this helps you, good. If it helps you, like, keeps you...
It has been. I know I'm going well with you. I was meaning to actually start focusing on Doug's character so that Auxcentius felt like he was a part of the story.
Okay. Well, I support doing more of that. So I mean, we're not done with that. Good, but it's like, you know.
Where's that Auxcentius at even? Is he gone and fallen
He's
off
here.
the deep
He
end?
hasn't. No, you're. That's him.
Why aren't you participating, Auxcentius?
Why
Are
am
you
I
the
not?
third man in the Blue Man group?
I've actually seen the Blue Man Group. They're pretty cool.
See,
Eddie doesn't know shit about him.
I haven't. Well, I've seen them on Arrested Development. I haven't actually seen them. I'd like to see them. I think they're pretty cool.
I saw them live in Chicago. My sophomore band trip.
Doesn't sound like the original.
Anyway, I mean, look, I hope this helps you, like, keep interest and whatnot. That's good. That's great. I'm already interested, but a way to get me not interested is to say we're going to play and I'm not going to play. That's all I'm saying. But I think...
Eddie's,
like, we
Eddie's upset.
Eddie's
upset.
I support, like, further exploring...
Eddie.
No, dude. Let's keep talking. Okay, all right, dude. Seriously, Davis. Let's talk more about your character. Let's do this. I'm having fun talking with you guys. It's just I'm kind of like, I don't know. It's been a shitty day. Particularly, a lot of things have gone wrong, and I figured like, oh, we're gonna play tonight. Let's play. And all we've done is the pregame show for 2 hours, like an hour and 49 minutes. So I'm like, okay, this is fun. Let's play, and we're not gonna play because you just want to brainstorm right now, and because you're a weird hippy dippy weatherman who needs like I need to explore your character. What is Shelly thinking and feeling, Eddie? And it's like I don't know. I don't know what you want from me. You want me, but don't worry about me.
Eddie's like I don't want to connect with my emotions.
Yeah.
Don't open up that dark, deep crypt.
I'm already connected to my emotions. I'm good. What do you want? What do you want from me, sir? What do you want?
You're letting the anger flow through you. What you should
want from me right now is for me to shut the fuck up and we have Auxcentius talk and have him explore his character. Go, Davis. Go.
We explore.
This is okay. I'm passing. Look, I'm thinking
the style I take whenever I build a character for any game.
Yeah.
This goes for any role playing game. This doesn't pertain to just one game or Dents or anything like that. Anytime I build a character, I build make the character, I get a general way of how they act, and then and a little bit of their personality. I don't explore their backstories too much, and I go with the flow and develop the character as we keep playing along. This is why I like the idea of from 4th edition's Dungeons and Dragons of not being aligned, is because I don't always go in knowing exactly how the character is going to be or turn out, and I like the story to kind of develop the character as we go along, and then if we find a moment where it would be useful to have a little bit more of a detailed backstory on something and we can come up with something in a reasonable amount of time, then let's do it and officially make that part of it. It's not for me like, oh, let's go in and build this highly detailed character with this highly detailed background and push forward.
See, and I agree with that too. I think that's the thing is like
I agree with fleshing out the character as we go along. Yes, I had
highly detailed, and this is me trying to flesh out your character as we go along. Like I'm still trying to convey story through what's going on. I'm just seeing how you're taking in what's going on and so forth. Like this is just a planning session. Yes, I'm sorry, Eddie. I know
that's not a problem for me. That's not a problem for me.
I
a planning
realize
session
it's not a problem for you.
is fine.
I know Eddie's upset. So I have to appease Eddie. Eddie, I am sorry. I did think about roleplay and so forth. I was thinking about I didn't realize I'd drag Sai and cause all this other stuff to happen. I was mostly thinking that your character would be going out to the Bermuda Triangle, and I'd have to be dealing with that. I wasn't.
I need to talk to Sai first because that's where we left off. We just said we left off with I knew you'd come crawling back eventually, which is a very strange thing to say. It's like, look, I think, dude, that's the thing. We're kind of going with the flow. I feel like you want to explore and delve into all of us. Well, that's happening. We are engaged. We are invested. We need to play. We need to just play the game, and it'll be fine.
I like the planning session because, I mean,
I'm a little...
Malmodo's a little confused on where things are going.
Yeah,
He's like,
okay.
why do your characters feel like they're not doing much? Well, Doug personally, and this is also me, is researching what's happening to him because he doesn't know. Doesn't want to just go outside and start messing around and have some weird random breakdown that he's outside of a realm or area to receive help. And the only person he knows that can help him is Janos.
All right. Here's some things though. It's like, why did your character just sit there and let himself get tattooed? And like for me, I could be like, well, the drugs were affecting him more deeply than he thought. But for you, it's like a non-comedic point. Like for me, when I really think about it, it's like, did you want your character to die at that point? Because I mean, I should have just let him die.
Well,
but
in my mind, I don't have any superpowers, and I'm with this strange being that has been giving me a tattoo, and he's only halfway finished. And this is probably going to be the last thing I actually get to do before I am dead. So, can I at least get the last thing I asked for, kind of like a final meal?
Yeah, he's resigned.
At that point, in my mind, it's like, okay, well, there's little chance for me to survive anyways if I tried to fight this thing, so I might as well, if I'm going to go out with a bang, I should at least finish out the one thing I asked to have finished.
you call that going out with a bang?
Well, no, I mean, if I were to actually end up fighting him at that moment, I would have at least liked to have the tattoo finished. Because it's like, hey, it's the last thing I'm asking for. Can you at least give me that much?
Yeah, I feel like he...
Well, I mean,
like
the story
drift.
drift. Alright, so when I first started telling the story to y'all, I wanted to be like a horror. And I've been feeling it drift into like, you know, probably a suspense at best. You know? Can you hear me?
You said it's like a horror, right?
Like the start was the horror. Like I like the horror start with the Wendigo and the parasites and like I can't think of other horrifying shit at the moment. So I gotta expound on that to why it's still horrifying, why it's still scary, and what's going on to help you deal with that. Like Doug, you have all these books and other stuff available to you from Janos, and like I can't tell you what books to read and so forth, or you know how to guide your character through that. But like you know, I'm also like trying to figure out ways that like what you could have read or how I could have better storied it or something like that. Like would your character, if this was D&D, what would you like to be happening right now? Say your character's like level 4.
My character's like level 4?
If you were in D&D, this would be like level 4. What's going on?
Character's probably looking for work or on a job and has uncovered something that was not initially intended to be uncovered. Like, oh my god, the guy I'm working for is actually like this corrupt ruler or something. Or something like, oh, great. So this guy sent me on this tiny little fetch quest, and now we've fetched a stone that's going to summon a demon or something.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that would typically happen.
Level 4 is a bit less grandiose. I'll admit, though, like, you know, in terms of power, like, that's just in terms of power, though, like, compared to a D&D character, your character's, like, level 16 as a D&D. So, you know, all the things that offers wizards, warriors, everything else, to be level 16. Your character could deal that much change to the environment.
Okay.
I guess
so as far as you losing track on stuff like for horror wise, like for whenever I did horror, and you can ask Eddie, he was there to witness one of my games for horror, and you can ask
we did. There was the Pathfinder game.
Yeah.
The Animal Source Adventure actually.
Yeah, it was. It was you can ask Eddie how that went, but I took a lot of inspiration as to how I went about the horror from The Evil Within, and how I portrayed it was more of that kind of atmosphere, and the detail that I put into it was more inspired by that, even though a lot of the enemies were more inspired by what I knew of The Ring, because I haven't seen it. But from what I knew of it, I inspired some of the enemies from it, or no, the Grudge, my bad.
Well,
But I took the conveyance of it more from the Evil Within.
All right. Well, my phone is low, and I think this has been a great planning session. I think I'll have a lot for Shell from Psy when we get back, and I'll have more motivations and development. But yeah, so my main problem was like, I was throwing a curveball about what the guys.
Yeah, like what we wanted, like what I really expected to have happen from the start was for us to be kind of dropped in a world. We kind of have reasons for being there, whatever they be. And so I just came up with initially a wacky reason to be there, which later on kind of we flushed it out a little bit more as we went along, little by little, to figure out why it would actually be there.
More substance. I don't want to just have it just.
But at the same time, I've never really dropped more than a little bit at a time to figure out what the character is or where they overall want to go. I mean, I've also never played a life inspired game like this before, so I've never had to put as much thought into the character's backstory. So, be that a fault on me, so be it.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to get stuff going. The backstories and that, because it's easiest thing for your character to have motivation on. Lots of players, they want to go and find the viewing crystal because it allows them to see any treasure. 300. And that creates a lot of problems. So you can't just let people have that. But
right now in this very moment for Doug, he's trying to make sure that he can actually go and still complete what he came to America for, and that's to find his sister and save her. But with the situation he's in, he's not really sure he can go and complete that. And if he's not able to, then he needs to get back in touch with his other sisters and say, hey, look, this is going to sound crazy, but this is happening.
All right.
And I can't do what I need to do.
So I'm debating whether or not your sister has been... have you ever seen Legend?
I Am Legend, or...
No, the movie Legend. Starring Tim Curry and Tom Cruise.
No, I don't think so.
I've seen bits and pieces of it. It's pretty cool. Tim Curry plays a really awesome demon in it.
So in Legend, the girl becomes corrupted by the Lord of Darkness.
Who is Tim Curry's character?
The girl is also the person that's all about this guy trying to save this girl that was taken. It's good stuff.
I've seen Taken, and I knew there's some stuff that happened to his daughter by the time we got to her.
This isn't Taken.
I know
it's not Taken.
It's kind of it's like kind of Legend and Taken really they're the same movie. I mean the
Dark Lord was going to hit that if the Dark Lord already. Could you imagine if he goes to fuck that and it's just like a fucking Pringles can made out of bologna,
and then
it's just like empty tube. You couldn't feel any walls.
Yeah, but before that, he gets a phone call from Liam Neeson, who is like, "I feel like you're after my daughter. Let you know I have a certain set of skills. I will find you."
But you're the Lord of Darkness, and Liam Neeson's saying this to you. You're like, "Hey, you hear that squish noise? That's what it sounds like when the tip of my dick hits her in the cervix."
Okay,
you
do realize
that
you do realize that Liam Neeson trumps the Lord of Darkness. I mean, look, the Lord of Darkness is awesome in that movie, but it's I'm sorry, no, Liam Neeson wins that Last Man Standing, and in fact, the Lord of Darkness is so dead. Like the Lord of Darkness is like annihilated from the multiverse, by Liam Neeson by that.
Eddie, no.
That's what happens. You just don't respect the Taken movies. That's what it boils down to. You just don't. Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I've only seen the first one.
You don't appreciate Liam Neeson like I appreciate.
All right. Has Bowser ever fucked Princess Peach? Here's a good question for y'all.
There's a lot of theories saying yes.
It's left
a lot of
to
evidence to support it. There's a lot of evidence to support it, though.
How does
Not
that
really.
go down?
It's a kid's game. Just adult players draw that conclusion.
Adult players draw their stuff from everything. Eddie, you were talking about how it's okay to have Laura Croft. Anyhow, I think Bowser hits Princess Peach on the like she allows it to happen so she
Okay.
Mario and Princess Peach are never like she's just like, here, have some cake. Like that's not even a
Cake is a metaphor for sex. Now look.
why
Actually, Princess Peach gets with Luigi.
No, Peach is with Mario. Daisy's with Luigi.
No,
No, I'm.
no, it's stated in Super Mario World in the Game Boy Color that
No.
Mario is traveling without Luigi to save Princess
Peach?
Daisy.
Yes, he saves Princess
Wait, is it?
Daisy.
I
then
believe
Daisy
they've
hooks
actually
up
gone
with
on
Luigi.
canon to say that Daisy and Daisy and
Right.
Mario are together,
I
and
played the game
Peach and
when
Luigi.
you were still a freaking sperm cell in your daddy's nutsack. Listen, yes, Mario saves Daisy.
how old are you?
I'm
You're like
an
12
old
years
man who's 35 years old. You know this. I was playing this when I was like 5. Now, look. Yes, Mario does go to Super Mario Land to save Princess Daisy. He rescues her, but then Luigi actually is the one that hooks up with her. Mario is with Peach. Luigi is with Daisy. They are two separate characters. It was up in the air a little bit on the cartoon.
So
show.
Mario
They
rescues everybody and
Yeah,
he
of course
hooked
he
up
does.
with his bro with some royal puss.
Yeah, exactly. And Mario and
So
Mario
Bowser
and Peach
still
are an
fucks,
item,
right? Bowser still fucks Peach, right? With that gigantic, thick Bowser cock.
In our fan fiction, sort of like, fan and established nonsense, yes.
So the Lord of Darkness would fuck that guy's girl.
I don't know where you're getting at with this. Now listen,
Why did it take so long for the girl from Taken to get...
okay. I don't know, dude. I don't know. All I'm going to say is this.
Like, her friend was all drugged up and raped silly.
Okay.
He didn't even really save her. He's all like, oh, hey, it's you. Here's a gun, or, here, get out of here, or where's my daughter by? Like, I can't remember that scene, but I know he found a friend she was with, because he was like, I blame this slut for my daughter kidnapped.
All right. Look, guys, I've had fun. I feel like this was probably necessary in order to help Davis out here, establishing Doug. But all I'm gonna say to you, Josh, is this: I was already engaged, and if this helps you stay engaged and keep getting ideas, that's good.
It's not just about me losing engagement. I am running out of creative.
Let me finish. The
Oh,
fastest way to make me not engaged is to waste my time. And it's kind of a serious issue when I feel like we're gonna get together and we're gonna play, and we don't play.
All right.
So
Then I'll have to pay more attention.
Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Because I'm gonna have to sit there and think.
So
Okay, sorry, Eddie.
it's cool. But I think now's a good enough time to end the recording. So I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Enjoy the planning session, folks.